Famous worldwide for its blood-soaked stories of Bram Stoker's Dracula, the ancient seaside town of Whitby, Yorkshire, is a stunning and outstandingly picturesque natural harbour situated on England's incredible northeast coast. The town certainly isn't a stranger to ghostly sightings and ghoulish apparitions, so please join me and the duck as we embark on a tour of these particularly chilling locations. St Mary's Parish Church. St Mary's Parish Church, Whitby, was founded in 1110 and is perched majestically high on the foreboding east cliff of the town. Parts of it date back to the early 12th century, the time of the Normans. Although the church has been modified and extended many times over the centuries, the original structure still stands and has never been rebuilt, which is a testament to the high quality of the builder's exceptional original workmanship. Considering its age, it's not surprising that there are many eerie tales to be told about St Mary's Parish Church. Tombstones marked with skull and crossbones. St Mary's Churchyard contains a significant number of tombstones. After all, it is a graveyard. As the centuries have passed, many of the inscriptions have been damaged by the elements. No one can identify who calls the churchyard their final resting place. All sorts of folk have their final resting place in St Mary's. Factory workers, fishermen, sailors and even those of wealth. Its location at the top of 199 steep steps meant that it was quite a challenge to haul a coffin up to the graveyard. However, there was a respite for the pallbearers on the arduous trek up to the church. If you visit Whitby and climb the steps, you'll notice a number of small benches on the way up. You may have even stopped to rest your weary legs and take in the stunning views. These benches were originally installed in order to give people a place to rest the coffins and themselves on the journey to the top. However, privileged families didn't have this issue and could use a horse and carriage, utilising the pathway which sits parallel to the steps. There sits two graves in the churchyard that are eerily distinctive from the others. These two have a skull and crossbones engraved into them. It transpires that this particular insignia has been found on gravestones all over the British Isles, most notably in Scotland. Some believe that these markers are proclaimed to suggest a member of the Knights Templar rests there, although this is pure speculation. It is proposed in the book Foul Deeds and Suspicious Deaths on the Yorkshire Coast that these graves are of two men who were shot by French privateers. However, there is no solid proof as to who these graves really belong to. Historians over the years have concluded that grave symbols are simply an old common practice to symbolise a person's mortality, therefore simply an uncomplicated and somewhat unfulfilling close to a person's life. The Phantom Coaches. Who doesn't adore the stories of phantom coaches? Well, Whitby has two such ghastly tales. One claims that widows and families of the poor souls who died at sea would often find that their graves would be visited on the third night succeeding their funeral by a thing truly horrific. As the sun sets and the night begins to draw in, it is told this is the time that the Barguest coach will suddenly appear. Pulled by 6 hideous headless horses with the skeleton-like figures of sailors long dead as its freight. They quickly alight their transport to collect the remains of their fellow shipmates. Returning to the coach, they leave at great speed, riding over the cliff edge, disappearing into the dark night sky. The second ghostly coach, purported to haunt the church, can be witnessed after dark, converging on St Mary's with considerable urgency. The ferocious waves that are commonly heard smashing against the rocks at the shoreline below flounder to drown out the deafening cacophony of hooves as the horses are consumed with rage, driven into an unparalleled frenzy by their driver's whip. The horses then unexpectedly halt at the church entrance. It is then they are met by shadowy bodies not of this earth, rooted by the doorway. The horses immediately despair at this unwelcome greeting. They hastily about turn before galloping into the dead of night.